I'm chasing shadows in the night. Words echo silent where I hide. Every mirror shows a stranger's eyes, searching for the part of me that's mine. But the sky ignites a spark inside, burning down to wait. In the ashes of my fight, truth is born again. I will rise up like a phoenix from the flame. Find my voice and call out your name. From the roots of what I used to be, I'll embrace the truth and set it free. Blinded by the weight of all my fears, I let them break me, shape my tears. Every scar's a testament to life. Now I rewrite the story in my mind. Yeah, feel the fire burning. I'm no longer turning away. I used to be. Fires blaring, set me free. Rising high, Phoenix, watch me go.
Testing audio. It sounds awesome, loud and clear here, everybody. Woo! You know, I've been under the weather. I just put a Ricola liquid center honey lemon cough drop in my mouth, and I am burning on fire in my throat. Holy moly, do not put one in your mouth before you go live on a stream, as a word of caution. And if you are out there and you are not feeling well and you have the flu, here's a little PSA: stay home. Even when you start, the body aches and pains start to go away and you start to feel just a little tiny better, whoo, stay home. I didn't realize how exhausting it was to have the flu. I haven't had the flu in over 7 years. And I will tell you, when you have the flu and you're on a biologic, you cannot take it and it makes you feel even worse. But I am here for the long haul. I am here for my mods. I am here for you. And if you've never heard my stream before, welcome in. I'm Phoenix. I'm your host today at Phoenix Talks. What are we talking about? Yep, we're still talking about the Idaho 4. So all you lovely, mean people out on the internet, the thought police, the comment police, you know what I'm talking about. All of you people out there policing us, welcome. But I want to just be honest with you. This is where we rise above assumptions and we think with open minds. Every question matters. Every angle's welcome. We dispel the rumors. We're not playing that game. And if this is you, welcome home. If that's not you and you've accidentally scrolled in here and you are here to troll, scroll on out. We'll love you just the same if you stay and be quiet. That's a good troll. A good troll is a silent troll. And I just have to throw that in there with every disclaimer. All my, disclaimers are on the stream. Everything we discuss is either purely coincidental, if you know how I feel about coincidental, and we're not here to we're not here to slander, shame, or defame anyone. We are actually looking at the documents using our logical speculation, beautiful thought process that God has given us to think for ourselves and free will, and speculate about the Idaho 4. And what's the topic today? Well, I just want to preface this. If you've been watching my streams and you listen on a daily basis, you will understand every stream builds up to the next stream. So if you're not watching the stream the day before or the 6 months to a year before, then you're missing the whole point. And I will say, Sometimes other creators are told or they watch other creators' videos. I try not to watch other creators' videos unless someone brings it to my attention. And I had a interesting comment yesterday from another creator on one of my videos. And, we've had some run ins in the past, and I won't say anything negative because I don't have anything negative to say about this creator. But I will say, um, people are watching your videos, your lives, whatever. And if they understand what it is you're talking about, it's interesting because this was from my perspective. What am I talking about? Well, I'll get into it in 1 second. But how is everyone doing today? How are you all doing? Really? If you were in the cold weather, under the weather, or sitting in the sunshine on some island like Australia, New Zealand, anything of that nature, boy, you are so lucky today. Because if you've got warm weather, then you are in paradise. Speaking of paradise, there is a show that I've been binging on that, well, not that show. I had to shut my office door because my dog just wants to be all over me. There's a show that my family's been binging on that I'm going to try to catch up on, Paradise, and I just looked up the premise. Is anybody watching that show? Anybody, I don't know, maybe just at home under the weather and just going to start watching that show because I guess there's like one season or something like that called Paradise. And they are hooked. So I will be watching it later on. But there was another one I watched not too long ago. And I thought it was a really good show. And it made me think of the Idaho 4. And I won't say what it is because somebody else probably already knows. And I thought it was really well done. And I'll give you some more on that tomorrow. But I want to get into this because I have got a jam-packed stream for you. We're going to be talking about the missing DNA. The DNA that's missing. I hope everybody understands what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm going to show you. But let's welcome in Becca. You are first in the chat. Welcome in. I don't know how long you've been here, but it says 8:34. I guess you came in, said hello, and maybe you're back. Hey, Caleb, good to see you. Les, I know you're in the house warming up. Becca came back at 1:39, waiting for some fireballs. I'm going to give you some today. I'm really Lita Shake, and I'm ready to, let's shake some more tail feathers. Somebody's getting upset. I don't mean to upset anybody. Hey, 1983 Tabby. I really don't mean to upset anybody. And Patty, but Rebecca, welcome in. But sometimes you say anything, it could upset people, no matter if it's right or wrong or indifferent. So, no talkie before coffee, welcome in. Y'all have some great points. I know that I started on a rampage. I'm going to finish that and give you my final thoughts on these other creators, and then we'll move on. So, hello. If you haven't noticed, I had coffee this morning. I thought coffee was supposed to make you focus. I'm all over the map. Maybe it does the opposite. I've been sick too. I just made some ginger turmeric bombs and they are helping big time. That sounds interesting. You're going to have to share that with us in the chat. Lulu Bell in the house. Woo woo. You're welcome. Sleuther, SD, Karen, Amalia, Dina, Karen, Katz. The flu is tough. I'm getting over it too. Well, thank God we are here getting over it. Just went around someone before this live. I realized who it was, so I moved on. Yeah, there's some strange things going on. Welcome in. Hi, great listening to you and what you have to say about the Idaho 4. Sometimes I talk very fast, so if y'all think I'm talking fast now, just tell me to slow the roll, and I will definitely do that. So, I am claiming recovery. That is what I'm doing. My dog is barking out. Belgium freezing here and snow all over the place. Belgium. I've never had anybody in the chat from Belgium. Welcome in. Gosh, that is awesome. There's a lot going in your country too, man. There's all over the world right now. It says it's freezing and snow, and it looks like it's 34 out there today. 32 tonight, mostly cloudy. Yeah, look at that precipitation. Looks like Sunday you're going to get a lot of snow. Wow. Well, welcome in, Sandra. We are happy to have you here. My heart goes out in the middle of the night. Oh, Cat's Mojo. You're binging on Stranger Things. Yeah, that is a great series. What is the Will Trent show? Now I'm going to have to go look it up. Will Trent show. Dang. Well, they have a season 4. Erica, Chris, and Jake McLaughlin. Okay. It's a crime thriller based on the series by Karen Slaughter. Special Agent Will Trent. Okay, that's not the one I was watching, but I will tell you, the one that I've been watching was pretty good. Pretty darn good. I was very impressed. It's overseas. Should I just tell you? Gosh, I love just chit-chatting. But I got to stream, I got to put on, and if I have to edit it, it's going to be a really hard time. But you know what? Let me announce this right now because we have had some new announcements all this week. Monday is money for the mods. Every donation goes to the mods. Tuesday is 2 for 1. Wednesday. What was my Wednesday? Because I had my schedule in front of me and I have changed it 3 times before I made it official. And let me just grab that real quick. Wednesday, it's on my phone. Let me grab it. I should have made a little cheat sheet email to myself, but I put it in a chat and God only knows where it is. Oh, let's see. Hold on one second. Let me find it. Okay. Oh, and just a real quick announcement. Yesterday, I put $70 into the pot because of the fact that I made a little extra last month. So 10% goes to our mods. So our mods are up quite a bit to split between all 3 of them. So Mondays, hold your donations, and that goes directly to our amazing mods. So Wednesday is Wreck the Internet Stream, mind-blowing facts that we're going to talk about today. And Thursday, I will announce a little early. I'll give you a teaser. You're going to love Thursdays. And Fridays is going to be fun and free for all. Anything we don't have to talk about the Idaho 4, it is going to be Fun Friday. So if you are interested in a Fun Friday, maybe a little Idaho 4 sprinkled in, Fun Friday will be your stream. So let's get to the nitty gritty. Where are we at? Let me catch up. Anybody else have any good streams? Throw them below. Love to see them. Hey, hi, Heart of Gold. Nice to see you again, Sandra, Les, Patty, Katz. If I don't call your name, you know that it's just one of those things. Jazz King, I'm trying to call everyone out. Welcome in. We're almost at 100, ready to go. Hey, Lori, welcome in. Good to see you. At Pokey Dots, I love your name. Good to see you. Skilla 591, good to see ya. I love your hair. Love your hair. Chats, is that Chan? Chan Fits 3 TV. Hey Phoenix, love your work. Thank you from all your hard work from Mom and I in Canada. My dad was Canadian. I bet you didn't know that, did you? He was one of the few Marines. One of the few Canadians that served in the United States Marines. I think there was only like 100 and something in Vietnam. Let's see. Belgium, keep your snow. I love it. I love it. I love it. Change my name into mine and my cat. Your cat is Kyoshi? Beautiful name. What does it mean? Kyoshi. Kyoshi, meaning sounds like maybe you're in Japan. Kyoshi was an Earth Kingdom born avatar. Well, that's from fandom. But what does Kyoshi mean? Kyoshi. Isn't that name used in martial arts? I lived in Japan for 5 years, so Kyoshi. Jack Showalter, Idaho 4 in the house. Oh, what's good? What's happening with you? Happy hump day. They're making their rounds. Named by my son. I love it. Must be in martial arts. I'll be on with Outcast 420 later, but I have my own channel. I'll be going live soon with my friends. I am excited, Jack. I'm excited for you that you have your own channel. Maybe we could learn some truth in the Idaho 4. And I'll just say it right up front. I know you are not guilty in my book. You were not a suspect. And humbly, I believe you were only trying to help. You were only trying to help. I will have you on. Well, I'm honored. I am so honored. I will accept your invite. And if you know, I'm very picky about my invites. I'm very picky. I only choose to go on certain people's streams. And I do invite people on my stream from time to time. So, just so you know, I know that you are not guilty. Everybody wanted to point the finger at you, and I'm so sorry that you've had to go through that crap. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be accused and be falsely arrested by the state of Idaho. And you'll love me. You're trying that Jedi mind trick on me. Get out of town. I know everyone was trying to blame me. I know. God, they just can't blame that machine enough. Too funny. Cat's Mojo, I am curious of your new channel. Well, you know what, Jack? Why don't you tell us what your new channel is? I'm Sweet Showalter. Now, I don't know about that because I don't know you, but I usually have a sixth sense about people. But let's get into the stream today. We are at 100. Let's go. So, today we are talking about the what? I bet Brian's hair is on fire, guys. I bet his hair was on fire a while ago. What do you think? Jack Walter's flirting. I think he's got like tons of girls. He's good looking. He's, obviously graduated. Hopefully, he's got a job. His parents are well known. They're both doctors. I actually went to one of their offices before in the past, and they have no idea. Yes, I used to live outside of Boise, folks. That's no secret. Okay, so I bet Brian's hair was on fire. Does anybody agree with me? Drop a 1. Could you believe being arrested on the day they go to clean a crime scene that you have been accused of, and then finding out that there's a lot of DNA missing? You're oh, so I was the last one to see the girls alive. Well, according to the ISP and the documents, what I've read is that you actually had blood in your apartment and it may have been your own. So, did you try to save the girls? Were you injured? Did you get in a fight with someone? What happened? Did you get punched and had a bloody nose? So, I'm just trying to put the clues together. Just trying to put the clues together. And Showalter, I will say this. Let's talk about David Loach and David Berriot. Well, I could, but I haven't seen any documents on them. So I don't talk about anybody who doesn't have any documents. Now, we can definitely speculate. We can definitely speculate. And I was wondering about Gower. Did Gower pick up those two that left 119 in the middle of the night? And he backs in, they jump into the back of the car, the ones that walked out of the apartment that maybe looked like they definitely didn't want to be there. And were they using a taser? Maybe it was a taser, not a gun. I mean, I could be wrong. I speculated. Could have been a taser they used all night at 1119. No speculation here. I'll tell you all about Gower. Woo! I can't wait. Sleuth Kitty, welcome in. Ellen B. Interesting. Now, I'm not an easy one to fool, Showalter. So just so you know, Bethany heard a bang and saw a flash. So maybe it could have been two weapons like a taser and a gun. A papew, give him hell. Jazz King, be nice. So let's talk. And I heard about him all night. Yeah, I saw you on Birdie last night, so no, no joke. I saw you, I heard you, and Essie. Oh, okay, let's do it. All right. So, could you imagine, drop a one, if you were just arrested the morning that the crime scene is being cleaned up at the same time? What a disaster. And then you learn that there's DNA, two male, unknown DNA at a crime scene. And you know what? It's not yours, and you knew it wasn't yours. How would that make you feel? Pissed off? Drop a one. Relieved? Drop a one and a two. Because here's the problem. This case is cold. Not because of the players involved. And I'm not saying even that the frats were involved. Not even saying that the frats were involved. You know who's saying that the frats were involved? All the documents, all the police reports, unredacted documents. Because here's the deal. Even if one suspect was from the frat is still involved. It's a frat member. Still a frat member. Amanda is telling Jack, I got to put this up in the chat. Amanda is telling Jack to be good. Be good. This case is heating up. LOL. What are you talking about? My hair's on fire. Okay. So we're not going to argue guilt here, Jack. We're not going to do that. We're looking at the unknown male DNA like a breadcrumb trail. Now, remember what I told you yesterday about the DNA. I made a video last night, and it kind of made somebody so, like, policing. Can you imagine someone policing Phoenix? Yes, folks, somebody was policing me. What the what? That's what I thought. I did a video called Idaho 4 Document. Wow. Did I do it for clicks, likes, and views? You bet I did. I'm just going to admit it right up front. You know, I'm pretty transparent. And when it comes to this, absolutely. But here's the deal. Absolutely. You're going to have to watch the video with me. Here we go.
Item that was looked at and maybe even overlooked by the general public in the court documents. Right here. This says a lot. This was in the state's objection to defendant's offer of proof regarding the alternative perpetrators and the defendant's evidence in support of offer of proof for alternative perpetrator. It says clearly, blank's only possible connection to any of the victims was redacted, 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 redacted. This behavior is not probative of any role in the homicides and is also excludable under Rule 404. Defendant also alleges and highly redacted. Can't make this stuff up. He basically said, hey, wait a minute here. This is the only possible connection of any of the victims was, and says that's not behavior that you could use to relate it to a homicide. What? His connection to the victims? So the police basically said there was no connection. The FBI and the ISP and MPD all said there was no connection. No DNA, no hair, no nothing. No nothing, guys. No nothing. But yet, he's sitting in prison for life for something that he knows he didn't do, and they're unidentified male DNAs. What would you do if this was your son, your brother, your husband? What would you do in this situation? I would love to hear your comments.
Okay, that video was made last night by me. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And I am going to take this comment off real quick because I'm going to come back to this. I had quite a few people leave me comments about this, but there was one comment that was very interesting that came from Pavarotti 4. Yes, Jay Embry Pavarotti commented on my video. Not trying to be mean or interfere when I see false connections between Brian and the victims being made, I have to speak up. The document you reference on page 8 clearly states in a prior paragraph they are referring to one of the alternate perpetrators having only that connection to the victims, not Brian, which he's actually factually truth. That is true. Nowhere in that objection does it refer to Brian having any connections to the victims. You may want to reread it. Well, see, this is the reason I made the video. And it's hilarious the way that he talks so rudely about me, and Les agrees, but then he goes and bashes my channel and talks bad about me. But if you listen to what I was stating, it would make sense, because what I said in this video, if you missed it the first time, listen to what I say.
Was redacted for alternative
I even
perpetrator.
said it was the states right here. I've got it right on the tab. States, what did I say? Objection to defendant's offer of proof, alternate perpetrators, and defendant's evidence in support of offer proof for the alternative perpetrator. Now, why is that so important? People don't read documents. And this is the point that I'm making with my video. Number one, you could take anything out of context. You can make a video and people would believe you without doing their homework. Now listen to what I said again. And yes, if you go and read the document right before what I read, it says, finally, the defendant submits, redacted, as the alternative perpetrator. The defendant's attachments clearly reflect that blank was cooperative and voluntarily submitted a DNA sample. So who did he name? Who was the first suspect that was named? He knew at the time the documents were given to him, it was Jack DeCour. Hello? Way before they even mentioned him, it was Jack DeCour. Yes, he was cooperative and voluntarily submitted a DNA sample. They also found blood in his 1127 residence, in the hallway and in the kitchen. Do we know any definitive conclusion? Absolutely not, because they never told us. They never showed it. Now, and the fact is that all the DNA from any of the samples from the crime scene or the victims is inconclusive as to the sample from Mrs. Mogan's fingernails. They label another ISP lab report 26, which I went back and looked at 26. It excluded DNA samples from the north wall of the stairwell at the scene, as well as the half wall of the scene. See States S4 Lab ISP 26. And when you go to that Lab ISP 26 document, well, where do we see that? We see that right in the state's exhibit list. I labeled it 3 on my side. And right in this document, it says, let me grab 26. Lab report 26. Let me grab it. Item 78, 101, yada, 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 and right here. So what do you have to do? You have to go to the forensic report reports. So let's see what the forensic documents say. So let's start with item 78 first. Item 78 was a submitted swab of stained floor near west bedroom. Yes, it tested positive for blood. It says marker R, west floor 2 bedroom, marker R. That was Xana's bedroom. And then obviously it'll give you some more reports, more hair reports. But let's go back to the actual document that I just looked at from the state's exhibit list. It says item 72 to 78. Well, there's a document in the forensics that I'm going to go back up, and I'm going to go 72, and it shows you the whole list of everything. Now, here they have date of evidence 12/27. Wow. And 1/6. And they go and they take all of these, and you know what? None of this DNA is Bryan Kohberger's. None. None of this DNA, other than 108, which is his oral swab of his own DNA, none of this other DNA, none. Swab from north wall, half wall, second floor table, second floor outside of bedroom, living room table, third floor. Nada. So what do y'all think of that? None of this DNA, but they give us some type of explanation. Here we go. Nothing matched Kohberger. Nothing. And it says that the mixture is excluded, 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 excluded. Then the potential contributor of her own fingernails was Maddie. And then it goes on to say a little bit more. What I talked about before was Ethan, which is really odd because Ethan's DNA under Maddie's nails was significantly high. And we'll see the breakdown of that later, which was so odd. And what does it say at the end of that? Bryan was excluded also. Nothing actually puts him at the scene of this crime, knowing the victims, etc., which brings me back to this video I made. So even though the defense said there's no connection, the only possible connection could be X, Y, and Z. This was the reason I shared it. The only possible connection to any of the victims was redacted, 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 even for the perpetrator that the defense called out. They basically turned around and said, there's no connection. How could there not be any connection? Unless this redacted name right here is not Jack DeCour. Has anybody thought about that? Because ever since they released this, everyone has been talking about Jack DeCour. Jack DeCour. He was the, the hurt, mental, yada, 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 all the speculation about Jack DeCour. And all his family is online saying, no, we even had fundraising for him. He's the grieving boyfriend. What in the world? He didn't have any scratches. He didn't have anything on him. Nope, nothing. Nothing. But whoever they named right here in regards to the only possible connection to the victim, remember, this is the state. The state signed off on this. William Thompson Jr. signed off on this, saying this. And you know what at the bottom of this says? Defendant's submission also do not connect any of the individuals to the Hantai Elantra. When God darn knowing, excuse my language, I'm getting hot, that Jack DeCoeur drove a Hyundai Elantra. It was in the freaking driveway. There are pictures in the past of this car being there. You know, I did a little tour yesterday. I did a little tour myself. And I just have to say, there was some interesting things found in my little tour of Walenta Drive. See, everybody's trying to go in and see King Road and all this other stuff. I just took a little tour of my own, and now let's go on a field trip. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to go on a little field trip today. Let's get it up here on stage. I don't know about that, Kimberly, but why would he go immediately to their house and wait a few weeks and then go talk to the police? So there is no sound to this. It's just a map that I went and I just looked around on Walenta, kind of tinkered around with Google Maps. There's somebody there. I don't know if he was waving at the little car that goes around for Google Maps. But I just went around Walenta because I wanted to see what light went on in the middle of the night while all this was happening. I thought I saw a camera on the Walenta house, but we never really see any cameras or anything from Walenta. There was a couple of other things that I've noticed. And it only goes back to so far. There's a couple of other dates. Let me take this banner off for a minute. There's a couple of other dates that I was able to go back to in 2001, kind of around the same time frame that this happened, but obviously you would be able to see a lot from that house. Now, this is the house at 1127 that overlooks where you can actually see 1122 when it was there. And this house behind it, or the house on the hill behind it, you're able to see a light that goes on in the middle of the night from the actual footage that was released by Jules that was FOIA'd. And during the crime, and I'm going to say a 1 to 4 a.m. time frame, I'm just keeping that open, even though the detectives were looking at the 248, asking and questioning people where they were at 248, seems to be a key time frame in all these documents. When you start looking and hearing the videos we've been seeing and lights go on, I've often wondered what was the light on the left side of this 11227 house. And in that, seriously, on the camera that I see, you can actually see people move back and forth. So the only thing I can think of is these guys didn't have any injuries. Maybe they were watching and knew what happened and went over there to explore and see what happened. I mean, if they knew what happened at the time, curiosity would be massive, right? Either you're going there to help them, you're going there to witness this, or you're going there after the fact to see what you can do. I was just a little curious. I mean, what would you do? What would you do in this situation? Absolutely, his brother has the same DNA. How would they differentiate the two? Triplets all have the same DNA, and you always have to remember the little image that I've shared almost every stream, because I'm going to hold true to this document that the MPD gave us. Because, see, there's always three sides to the story. legal side, perpetrator side, and the witnesses side. There's always 3 sides to the story, in my humble opinion. Now, at 2:48, we hear either a gunshot or it's a continuous use of a taser. And remember, I kept saying, what messages are Steve sending? What messages through the media is, Dylan sending through the video of her interrogations of what she can't remember? She can't remember the whole thing. Was it just pure shock? Was she trying to tell us in some shape or form that she saw the cleanup? She knew about maybe a taser. She knew maybe about a vacuum. She knew maybe about footprints. Think about this for a minute. Is she subconsciously telling us what happened without telling us what happened? I noticed quite a few things in the Walenta Avenue. Took a few pictures of these, looked around a little more. I was just curious to what was back there at this time frame. So remember, even though I went on a little field trip, a little adventure, it was interesting, some of the things that I caught and some of the things that we can't be shown, that they have redacted some of these. It's crazy. You try to go in front of one house and they won't let you see anything. Abyssal vacuum cleaner. I've told you before, how does DNA get destroyed? How does DNA get destroyed? Does anybody remember? I sound like a teacher now giving you a test. I mean, I've talked about it before. Anything with heat, a concentrator, a centrifugal force of heat of vacuum, it dries up DNA and RNA. Anybody with a background in this would know. Anybody would know. A pressure washer, a steam cleaner, anything with heat. Heat and fire destroys DNA. What would they vacuum up? The DNA? Clean up DNA? Yeah. They do have, remember, they do share some same DNA. Even though they're not identical, that would be like you and your brother sharing the same DNA of your mom and dad. Yep. So keep in mind, there are so many things that they could be vacuuming up. DNA, fibers, hair. I mean, remember, there was hair on a wall in the evidence, hair stuck to the wall. When it says unknown DNA versus unidentified contributor versus not a match in CODIS, what do you hear? I'm asking you a question here. What do you hear when you hear unknown DNA? Do you think exculpatory or inconclusive? Unknown DNA. I think it's inconclusive, because if they never tested the unknown DNA and they're asking, well, whose is it? Whose is it? They're saying they don't know either and they didn't do their jobs. Guys, my hair would be on fire too. And I still don't know why. There is still 2 JKs. There was Jack Katovich, speculation of Jasmine Kernodle. There are so many speculative that say involved Emily Allant, Hunter Isaac Johnson. There are more than 2 JKs on this. Maisie was mentioned. A couple of other people were mentioned, like Hunter Chapin, Bethany, Dylan, JL, DL, and we can only speculate. DS, and I told you who all these people are already. Chicken Guy was cut. Yeah, they never followed through with anyone else's DNA. Now, why would they not? Were they afraid what they were going to find out? Was it other frats? Was it other perpetrators? What do you think? It said it could possibly be an unknown female. Absolutely. 2 or 3. Well, remember, if you guys listened to Birdie last night, there was somebody who called in. Did you guys hear her call in? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to paraphrase real quick. Last night on Birdie's show, there was a live stream call-in. And there was this lady who had been married for 20 years to Brett. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me show you. It's easier just to listen because I don't want to get it wrong. Here's Birdie last night, and here is what happened on his show.
Well, I wish I had more to say, but really what I wanted to kind of talk to you about is, and I never wanted to send you an email and like promote myself to you, but I did want to tell you that I have a 23 years experience of being married to a Sigma Chi. And the brotherhood is so freaking deep. And you're gonna want to hear me. You're gonna want to hear my story.
I can already tell. Married to a Sigma Chi, 20 plus years. Let's hear about it.
And yeah, and you know, the stories, they're real, they're scary, they are. It went so deep that it continued on into being into their adulthood, and that's what was so crazy to me, you know, coming into this marriage. We're talking, he was in college from 1989 to 1997, and so we're talking the 90s. And so when this stuff is going on back in the 90s, guys, this stuff is going back on in the 80s. I mean, this stuff is very ritualistic, very, very ritualistic. And I just cringe when people start talking about all the symbolisms and the rituals, because it's so real, you guys, and it needs so much more attention, because I've always believed so highly that the frats were behind this, the Greeks anyways. And I want to talk about it more, but I also have grown adult children that I need to kind of let them know that I'm going to be talking about it, because
Now, keep in mind, this was on Birdie's Live last night, saying she was married to a Sigma Chi for 20 plus years. And basically, you know, they were talking about a pledge book. Do you all know what a pledge book is? Right? And this is something that needs to be talked about. Everybody has their own opinion, everybody has their own speculation, but basically a pledge book is, you know, a book that shows and writes down frats. You know, they talk about I don't even know how to even say this. I mean, what I've done some homework. I've looked at Delta Sigma Pi, I've looked at Sigma Chi, I looked at all kinds of it's called a pledge pack, right? It could be called a pledge book, but it's stuff that they keep down and they keep notice. And it's like somebody said, payoffs. And when you look at, I mean, are these things real? Yeah, some use them. I mean, people use ledger books. Let's say that I've got a lot of money and I loan you money. I keep a book of loans, right? You got to pay me off. You're going to pay me, right? Um, some people choose to have no books. So it's one of those things that they write down all kinds of stuff. You owe me. You can always tell, pretty much who the bad guy books. They always want to ban the books because you're keeping lists, you're keeping knowledge. Some people had to get rid of pledge books. It tells a book of history and stories, right? And it's like if you come into the fraternity, the fraternity, it's like a guidebook, a workbook. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it, Amanda. It's a workbook, kind of like a diary used in the pledging process. Contains the organization, the history, the rituals, and anything else that you want to put in that book, right? And somebody asked me if in here, did Ethan lose a foot? What in the world? What do you mean by missing prints? I think that's a rumor. Let's look at this document real quick and let's see if they gave us any indication of maybe someone missing a foot. This is an interesting question. So, missing foot is not what I heard, and of course, a rumor. Well, you know what? That's a great question. Let's just look at Chapin. Let's look at his autopsy information just for 1 second because I'm now interested myself. Okay. Ethan had a right sock. He had a left sock. Well, that means he had 2 feet. Hopefully. If socks were on his feet, he had a left and a right sock. So let's go a little bit further down this rabbit hole. He had a right nail clipping and a left nail clipping. Well, he had both his hands. Major crime prints, 25. He's got that. Let's just see what else it says about Chapin. Let's see. Autopsy, SD card pictures, check. Phone records. This that I found interesting. Obviously, Bethany and Chapin had Verizon phones. And Mortensen and Kaylee had T-Mobile, but where are the other people's phone records? I had that in my note in my own book. Instagram DVD of Chapin, Dylan, and Bethany. Autopsy x-rays of Chapin, Instagram additional info for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Madison and Kate, that's their prints. All right, let's see what this says. Main floor, west bedroom. They took a picture of Ethan. Remember, he was covered from the waist down, and they took pictures of him on half on the bed, half not on the bed. Let's see what else we have. Let's see. Photo, sealed body bag. Sock. They took 4 different notes. Okay, here we go. Second floor, west bedroom. Ethan Chapin on bed covers over leg. On bed, covers over legs. Okay. And then they had second floor, Ethan Chapin on bed, covers removed. Then they say they have on bed covers removed, close up of injury. And it just says of injury. Ethan Chapin on bed, edge of bed floor, and Chapin on the bed. Now, second floor, Ethan leg injury. That's just one leg. Body bag, right side of body bag. Let's see if it has anything else. Injury, right side. Okay, lower picture, leg injury, marker 10, uncovered with cell phone. Did he have his cell phone in the bed? Left leg close up. Left. Interesting. Let's see. Here we go. Ethan Chapin, upper body as received by medical examiner. and lower body as received by medical examiner. Remember, this medical examiner in Spokane was the doctor that I talked about yesterday, that one of our avid chatters mentioned that they have now stopped taking autopsies from that county, which is leaving them in a big lurch, a big cluster. Interesting. So, Chapin upper body cleaned. Obviously, the doctor will do that during an autopsy. Chest and throat injury. He had a chest and a throat injury. Wound on right side scalp. Somebody went for his scalp, almost like Kaylee. Scalp wound on left side center. Left side center, so if he had it on the right side, left side, was he attacked by two people? Left side, right side. So if I'm right-handed, was somebody left-handed that attacked him? If I'm right-handed, and let's just say I would never do this, but let's just say that I'm in the process of being attacked and I'm defending myself. I am right-handed. So if I use my right hand, I would go right for the left side. So he was injured on the right and the left. It could be one person right-handed, but Ethan, wound near left ear, back on left thigh. So he was hurt on his left leg and his left thigh. Side view of wounds to back of left thigh. It sounds like it was only on the left thigh pretty much. Close-up of wounds inside of thigh. Doesn't say how high up. Side of view of right leg. Wounds of right leg. What's PF? What's PF? What does PF in an autopsy? I don't know what it means. Let's find out. What does PF mean? What does PF mean in an autopsy examination? Initial. Postfrontal PF. Artifacts. I don't know about that one. Let's see. What does that mean? PF. Yeah. PF. Gosh, I don't know what that. I'll go down that rabbit hole later. PF. Pre-tech files. Application used. I have a whole forensic book here. So I will PF. Pericardial fat. Is that right? I don't know. Pericardial fat wounds. Yeah, that could be it. Pericardial fat wounds to the right leg. And then wounds on top of right hand. He wasn't sleeping, folks. We already know that. Okay, so he's got a couple more injuries. Right palm, left hand, and left wrist. Wow. Those were most of his wounds. They're kind of spread all out throughout this worksheet here. This was the state's evidence. And those were factual pictures, I believe. They weren't reports, it was actually pictures. And that is all the pictures that I see for Ethan. That was a series of photographs. So when you go down and you look at all these, those were the mass wounds that he had. There was a report, 1 through 11, and that was it. So I don't see anything about missing a foot. I think we can put that one to rest. And what's this other one? He was missing his manhood, precardial fluid. Did he have rounds to his heart? Pericardial fluid. Pericardial fluid. You're saying fluid. Let me look at this forensic book. Hold on. Here's the gold mine book of the century. Science Direct. Here we go. Let me open it up. Pericardial fluid or fat. Could be either one depending on where he was. Yeah, Yvonne, I just looked it up too. It said could be fluid or fat. Say OF. Instead, OF. Well, what is OF? Fluid in the sac of the heart, but this is showing on his, what did I say it was? This was showing around his leg. So why would they, right here, of wounds. I think it's OF. Close up of wounds to the right leg. Yeah, it's of. Okay, let's just say that's a typo. It should be OF of. All right. I got a joke for you guys. You are going to laugh at this one. You can laugh at me. I'll laugh with you. I was in a... I think I was in 4th grade, y'all. And, you know, I had to learn how to spell just like everyone else. Learn how to read just like everyone else. But I'll tell you, I went to private school. And when those nuns ask you a question, you get freaking nervous, okay? I was standing up for a spelling bee and I was so nervous. I swear I was going to pee my pants. I was so scared of these nuns. 4th grade. The word that I got for the spelling bee was of. And you all are going to freaking laugh. Guess how I spelled of? Oh my God. Guess how I spelled of. Look at the diagram. Yeah, I seen it. Phoenix hasn't looked at the chat. No, I was looking at the documents. I spelled of O-V. Oh my God. I immediately had to sit down because I was out of the spelling bee on my second word. I was so freaking scared. Oh my God. Okay. I just had to laugh about that. Of OF. Okay. Yeah, I said it the way it sounds, right? They always tell you to spell the way it sounds. Well, that didn't work for me. I remember calling the nuns a big cheese like in 1st grade. They thought I was hilarious. I told my parents. I sounded it out. I sure did. I thought I was right. I was so shocked and so nervous at the same time. First time I ever had a spelling bee. You know how many times I forget to spell a word? You're not alone. Yeah, that and the never ending having dreams of having no underwear on and wearing a Catholic girl skirt. Okay, just a little humor thrown into this really thing that could be so serious. And I'll tell you, when we start thinking about this DNA, you know, they start saying provative DNA, like tied to actions, background, innocent transfer, touch DNA, mixtures is multi-people, hard to interpret, trace, low temperature. You know, low temperature is hard to run through diagnostic too. Screen buckets, you know, they have a chart, all those charts that they used in the court documents, you know, which bucket causes the most confusion, right? Mixed or trace. Too crazy. So these 2 unknown males, what claim, I mean, they didn't go after these 2 unknown male DNA. I showed you in the transcripts yesterday that they talked about the DNA in, yes, they did. They talked about the DNA in court. some nuns used to whack your palms with a ruler. Not the palms, the other side of our hand. Whew. And then I had a sister that would come around with her keys, and if she was upset with you, you would get the keys in the back of the back. Oh my gosh. They didn't play. They did not play. All right. So, you know what? If you know, you know. So, don't you think, and I would think as a layperson, I know nothing about fingernail DNA analysis. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have fingerprints or DNA? Which one? If you had to figure out who did this, would you rather have fingerprints or DNA? I mean, personally, both would be nice to have. Fingerprints tell you more of a absolute right. DNA tells you more of a high. I mean, fingerprints are pretty unique. DNA, I mean, they thought they had Brian Kohberger's DNA. Look what happened. Transfer could have been stolen. No conclusion. And here is a fabulous answer. Top nester. DNA is more reliable, but not touch DNA. Blood DNA is more reliable, I thought. Cheat code, femur. Yeah, and see, we live in a day and an age where technology is not perfect. DNA technology is not perfect. And in this case, there are no conclusions. And yet we're still talking about it because people want to know. Have there been any new documents released since the whole debacle last? Probably not. Do you think we're going to get any more? I would have to say in some cases, fingerprints. You were there. I mean, can you absolutely fake somebody's fingerprints? Let me look. Can fingerprints be transferred like DNA? Yes. Oh, not actual. Okay. Yes, fingers can leave DNA on surfaces, which is a phenomenon known as touch DNA. This occurs when a finger touches an object's deposited skin cells, sweat, and oils containing DNA on that surface. The amount of DNA is transferred depends on factors such as the applied pressure, duration of contact, the texture of the surface, the individual shedding. Yeah, okay. So you can spread it through handshakes, but can you transfer and persistence of non-self DNA over time? You can transfer it, but it degrades faster if it was not touched by the original individual. Wow, that's crazy. That is freaking wild. I did not know that. No idea. That is wild. I have never seen that before, ever. Interesting. Wow, see, we learned something new. My hair would be on fire for both a fair trial. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What are they going to do about it? What is our justice system going to do about it? Because Bill Thompson never, ever tested the two unknown DNA. What do you think they would do? Should we say catch 22 and go down the IgG route? What would you do? If you were the prosecutor and you know there was two unknown DNA that they didn't even go test, even though they had Brian Kohberger's name, what would you do to catch the killers? Because we're still talking about this case. No one's given us a smoking gun for Brian Kohberger. Would you convict with strong circumstantial evidence, or would you go and find out whose unknown DNA it is? What would you do? See, unknown DNA is either the background noise or it's a hidden speaker. The only way to tell is where it was found, what kind is it, and how it connects to the timeline. We know that there was a glove outside with bloody whatever. Was it from the crime scene? Was there a match somewhere? And we honestly know that it was on the handrail. When did that blood get on the handrail? Was it in a fight another time? Was there a fight at the house before the actual crime happened? I mean, you have to think about the context, folks. Did somebody else have a bloody nose in that house and they left a speck of blood? How old was the blood? How would they tell these things? How would they know when the DNA was left there? How would they even know? See, I'm being very speculative to all this. If there was DNA on the handrail, when did it get there? If there was a bloody glove found outside, was it somebody who worked in the area? And this is the reason for my video that I did. We're only told half stories, half truths. So around the time of the murders, let me just tell you this much. I happened to notice something in the background, which many people are probably watching and looking at the same time. Look at this window on the left side, right in this area, top of the screen, that overlooks at 1127. Look at the window up there. I wish I could. Yeah, I'll run it in slow motion. I hate the noise. I'm going to turn it off, but I want you to focus on this window. Right up here, left side of the screen. Here we go. Right up here, left side of the screen. You can't see it very well because the live, hopefully there you can see this. Can you all see that little window on the left side of the screen? Drop a 1. Phoenix, I think the blood got on the handrails when they took the deceased victims upstairs. I would probably say so. Okay, everybody sees it. I played it in slow motion. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. Playback speed, maybe 75. This is at 240. There is somebody in this window that walks back and forth in this top left window. The light is on. I had to go during the daytime to see if it was the house behind it. That's why we went on a little field trip. Ava Wood, it came across my email. And there is one more that's going to come out this week too. Hold on one second. See, now they're not on my list. It was audio only for Kai Davis, which I was really interested in. Everybody hang tight. Can you all hear me? Can you all at least hear me? All right, there it loaded. So if you get a chance, go watch this video. Look at this screen at the top of the left side. If you want to see it move faster, speed it up to like 1.5, and you will see somebody either pacing in the background. That's what I thought. This side, left side, you'll see them pacing back and forth. That screen keeps changing like somebody is walking, looking out the window. Yes, that is correct. That is his house. Yeah, I'm good. I'm here. So if you watch this window in the back, you can see movement in that upper window. And I'm going to give you just a little reference here. Okay? Let me just show you something that'll help you understand what we're looking at right quick before I jump into the next thing that I got on my radar. Hold on. In this video that we're watching right now, this is what you're looking at during the day. Okay? This is what you're looking at during the day. This window right here on the left side, there's a little chimney that sticks out. There's a window right here on the left side. Okay? Now, if you go through and you look at the nighttime video of this, which I was just sharing, you will see that this window, there is somebody walking around in that back. Now, I don't know. Let me just look around real quick. It's got to be the house behind or this window. Let's take a look at it. I wish I could line it up. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me take a picture of this. And I'm going to take a picture of this and I'm going to line it up. Hold on. And I'm going to see where it lines up for me. Let me see if I can put this on the screen twice. Hold on. I've got to get me a full subscription to Canva, guys. Import from a file. Let me grab this. It is, let me see if I can overlap this from a file. Let me just take a picture. Okay. This is what we're looking at. This house overlaps. It is the house across the street. That is the house across the street. Y'all, I can't make this shit up. Holy freaking moly. It is either the house across the street or it is someone in a car back there. Hold on a minute. Let me grab this so you can see this. No freaking way. Hold on. I'm going to show this picture to you. Look at this. It is either... Hold on. It can't be the same window. This is the chimney right here. That is the top of the flue. If you look in the back, it's coming from that Walenta. There's 2 houses on the street above that had cameras in their backyards with direct sight to 1122. What the heck? That's coming from the street or that house that I showed you. Is that maybe just smoke coming out of the chimney? Hold on a minute. Let me take a look. Is that heat coming off of it? No, it doesn't line up, does it? That it's something shining off of there. The windows are dark in there. A car would shine on the windows. Yeah, but that's not at that time frame. Huh. This is very interesting. I don't think that that is heat coming off of that chimney. It's higher up in the back. Let me go back to it. Let me see if I can overlay it better. Hold on. Let's see. Let me see if I could put it over it on top of it. That is wild. Rolo, have you looked into this? Do you know what it is? If I line up that window, yeah, it's not the chimney, folks. It's definitely not the chimney. If I line the windows up one right over the other, it is not the chimney. It is coming from the back of Walenta Drive. The carport. See the carport on the right? They blur the rest of that house. Yep, they did. They did. It's not reflecting light from the chimney. It's not just the tip either. Uh-huh. It is actually, I have overlaid it and it is not. It is coming from the, let me show you. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this one to show up. It's not the top of the chimney. I'm going to draw right over it where the chimney is. Hold on one second. Where is my draw tool? Here we go. Here it is. This is the chimney. This is the top of the chimney. This is the chimney and the top. The little tiny top that comes out. Hold on. Let me make this white and then you'll be able to see it in one diagram. That's white. And then the next one is right here. That's the top chimney. And then the next part is right here. All right, that's the chimney, and then that is in the back of the woods. All right, I'm going to show you this picture, and then you guys can go double check for yourself, go overlay them, whatever you can. Somebody's done their homework, and I'm going to share this image real quick. This is technically where the chimney is. Do you guys see that? This is where the chimney, I did the best drawing I could. Okay, the little boxes on the hillside. Okay, so can I run it through AI? Yeah, I mean, I can. Let me run this through AI. Let me see, let me grab a new chat. Is this layout of this house part of the chimney in the first picture? Ignore my outline. And is it the street on Walenta at another house? I'm going to give them all three pictures and see what they'll eliminate. Hold on. That one. And let me go Google Maps. Hold on. Let me do this live so you guys can see what I'm doing. I want to see if it's got, okay. Let me just check this out. We appreciate you being in the house, Rolo. Absolutely. All right. Olenta Drive. Here we go. All right, let's just see this real quick. This is the same thing I did yesterday. This is too far down the road. This gave me 2013. Let me see if it'll give me 2021. Nope. Let me go further. Why did it give me the back side? Why did it give me the end? Hold on a minute. Ah, I hit the wrong button. Hold on. Let's see. Why does it keep giving me the other side? Hold on. Why is it? Why is it giving me all the way around? It's not what I wanted. Someone cut me off. Oh, come on. One over here. All right. That is this guy. It's got to be this house back here. It's got to be this house. That window, or it's some car sitting in the back on this road where it says no parking. And I know that if you're over here at this house and you turn your lights on, it's going to be shining at that window. We already know that. The trajectory of shining at the window would go right here if there was something parked here. We know that for sure. And back then, I think it was a truck. Yeah, it was a truck parked here that you see leave. The lights are shining on over here. But if there was lights shining on the tree, is that what you guys are saying that it was? Rolo? He had cameras. Yeah, you can't go back there now. But there was light. Yeah, there was a little patio back there, and you can see the trail that shines down there. But if there was light over here, he did not. There's no way that somebody sat in that car for. Hold on a minute. This light comes on at. This light is on quite some time. This light goes on way before 2. Let me see how long this light stays on. This is crazy. 2, 3. I don't think she got anything other than this one, 1 a.m., 12 a.m., 12, 11, 12. She did get footage for this 12. What time does that light come on? That light is on at 12. That light is on at. Was somebody sitting in a car back there? That light is still on. Look at this. That light is still on. This is the footage at 1:13. That light is still on. That can't be somebody's lights that sat there for 3 hours. There's no way. Where it curves. It's where it curves. I agree. Either that's the house where it curves, which I just showed you. But let me see when the light goes on. Let's see if we can see anything different. Hold on. Let me slow this down. That is... Okay, so what's the address of that house? What is the address of that house? It's got to be this house right here. It's got to be this house. And you mean to tell me there is no one that doesn't have any cameras over there? Because I've seen 4 different cameras. It's got to be this house. It looks like it's an apartment. 1237 Walenta Drive. It's got to be this window. It's got to be this window that we see in the reflection over here. Look, right here in this area. Let me take a picture of this. In this little area right here is the direct reflection across the street of these trees. So you got to tell me that right here has got to be what you see. It's the top of the window. Okay. Okay, so it's got to be the top of that window. Sorry, guys, I got down a rabbit hole. This window is exactly what you see that shines right here on the back of this. It's got to be that window that you see because the chimney is right here. Chimney's right here. The house is right here. So it's got to be that. Or am I backwards? This is the house. Well, then what is the house back here? It's got to be something from this side. Is there another house? Can't be from the top of that window, is it, Rollo? I thought maybe it was this one. Because if you look, I'm going to do a 360. Hold on. I'm going to do and see if I can see right here to right there. That's the back of the window, and the chimney would be right here. I thought it was this house. Anyways, it's got to be one of these houses. That light was on all night long. Did they have a straight shot view from here to 1122? Who lived in that house? 1217. I think these are all apartments. Currently lives. There's a lot of people. Shoot. Interesting. Well, I'll go. That is just wild. Well, that was fun. We went down that rabbit hole. It led us to nowhere. But there is still 2 missing DNA. So someone made a really good point in here that DNA was probably recent, within the last week. Had there been any other fights, any other parties in that house, any other oddities that happened? And I've got one thing real quick that I want to leave with. There was a video that someone sent me and asked me to look into this. So as a good citizen, I decided to definitely look into this. Now, I appreciate people sending me messages. I really do. Now, this girl has been on fire, and I showed her video yesterday, and someone else asked me, do you think this could be true? Well, let me grab it up. Let me grab the video real quick. Hold on. Let me grab it. Where is it? Here it is. Let me grab it. Okay, here is the video she was talking about Adam. Oh, hold on. Where is it? Dang it. Where did her video go talking about Adam? She basically said that Adam, hold on a minute, could have been Adams. There is a detective Adam in this case, Adams, when she said, what did Kaylee mean by what did you tell Adam to Maddie? Now, hold on. Gosh, where is she's good. I'm telling you, she's very observant. Pay attention to what he says. Where is that video? Crap. I thought I bookmarked it. She said she thought it was Detective Adams. I don't think it was. Maddie, what did you tell Adam? Yes, that's what she said. And then in the beginning, we hear the clip, they're going to get you for that. So was that, did somebody change the audio? Did somebody manipulate it to make it say something different? Because I thought the original that was originally released said, what did you tell Adam? I told Adam everything. And Jack Showalter said, oh, they're going to get you. Does everybody remember hearing that? Am I the only one? Is that the what do they call it? The Mandela effect? Is that what they call it? Well, there is a video that she put out that said, maybe they took it down. She said, what did you tell Adam? And someone said maybe it was Detective Adams. Well, I looked in the ISP documents, and Detective Adams, there is a Detective Adams, surprisingly. But he is like, why would he even be in that area or talk to any of the at 1122, right? So I went down that rabbit hole, and then I found something from the Moscow Police Department. Let me grab this so I can show you. Now, am I saying they are 100% being honest? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is what I found. This is the only thing we have. And remember what I said about the truth. There's one side, his side, her side, and the truth. Well, it's kind of how I feel in regards to this case. There's their side, his side, and the truth, which we've never found out. There is a detective, ISP detective Will Adams, but I don't know why anybody would be talking to an ISP detective Adams. So obviously I went to the Moscow Police Department and I looked up, let me just see, Adam. And I found a PDF that referred to Adam. And let me just show you what I found. Where are you? Hold on a minute. There was a PDF. And here it is. It was a news release. And they put a PDF investigative documents about Adam. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it a different way. Oh, official website. Adam. Where did it go? Basically said they were working with Adam and they interviewed him and they have identified him. So I know for sure it was not, hopefully not, a Detective Adams. But it did say that they were working with Adam. They identified who Adam was. Let me see if I can find it again. I hate when I miss something. I had my system up, ready to go, and then it crashed on me and I had to restart it, so all my bookmarks were gone. Because I didn't save them. Where is it? Shoot. Let me send the picture to myself, and then, because I screenshotted it on my phone. And where did it go? My apologies. I hate when I lose stuff like this. But I will put it in a post because I don't want to keep you guys any longer. I'm already at 1:43. I try to keep it to 1:30. And do me a big favor. I won't be on tomorrow until tomorrow late afternoon. So hopefully you guys will be here at 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And I will make that into a post that the police department, I'll clarify who Adam is, and I'll put that in a post. Adam was working. Now, they say he was working, but I don't think he was actually working, folks. And I will give you some more on that information, too. I think, in my humble opinion, him and his girlfriend were at the corner club, and he was not working, in my humble opinion. Take care, everyone. Got to go take care of my dog. Get some things done. If you are under the weather, hydrate, and be well. Send love to my mods, please. And I will catch you tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
I've been chasing shadows in the night. Words echo silent where I hide. Every mirror shows a stranger's eyes, searching for the part of me that's mine. But the sky ignites a spark inside, burning down to wait in the ashes of my fight. Truth is